Wow, wow. I think people get the wrong idea about screamers sometimes, and they think that it's just almost like eerie, isn't it? It's sort of like, "Ah!" Someone's gonna like come around the corner and like stab me through my window. Kia ora and welcome. My name's Zoe Shibi and I'm your vocal coach for today because we're going to be taking a look at Spiritbox with Constance. I love Spiritbox, so I'm so excited to take a look at what Courtney's up to with her vocal technique. I'm going to do my best actually because I haven't heard this particular song before. What's she up to? How's she creating the sounds? And how can you create them? So if you want to learn more about your favorite artists and how they are creating those sounds, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you around here more often. Let's just take a look. No one asked for this video except my soul. I think I'm morphing that into a different song. So what we've got there is we're around the E4 above middle C. That's right slap bang in the female chest voice register. We've got a little bit of larynx lowering though going on to darken the tone. And we've just got quite a lot of thyroid tilt in there to make the sound even more sung. Let's go back on that. Again, I'm not making fun of anyone's voices. This is just the way that it sounds in my voice when I'm showing you the type of effects that are being used. Obviously, she's doing them with finesse and grace and like musicality. Even though just that, it's quite Amy Lee-esque, right? Oh, so she's going from those closed vocals, oh, and I actually think she's flipping into a falsetto where the original is actually rock back, oh, and that's why we're hearing that little bit of that click. Going down to the E3, which is the E below middle C. So this might be quite low for some slightly less experienced singers, but you can hear she's introducing a bit of breath as she's going lower in the range, and coming back with lots of thyroid tilt in that sound. Thyroid tilt is this bit here, the Adam's apple, that's part of it, where the vocal folds actually live. And when it tilts forward, that creates a stretch on the vocal folds. And let's just go back on that. Me and my bitterness, give it up, just enough to escape it. Heretics offends me. I'm also hearing quite a low volume. So it's not about being loud when you're lower in the range, especially with those thinner vocal folds. This lower, this quieter sound is going to be helping her as well in that moment. Look, she can most definitely sing louder, but we also just want to start our songs quieter. Heretics offends me. Used to trust anyone. Arms are off, promise. That last one. It's hard to lose and wonder why you push
pressure at an increment. Like a slow-moving car.
She's got this really lovely dark sound in this recording. Slightly, look, I would have to listen to more of her singing in this kind of like quiet and more acoustic setting in order to get a better idea of the vocals and things. But this can be achieved by a slightly lowered larynx position in this moment. But we've also got really long phrases on those thinner vocal folds, and that's what's also helping to keep the breath back. Oh, I wanted to make a point about her mouth movements. I'll do that in a second.
Pressure at an increment. Like a slow-moving car. Memories disappear. When I am holding you.
Wow. I think people get the wrong idea about screamers sometimes, and they think that they kind of like get stuck in that mode, or like it's all that they do. She's a professional vocalist. Singing in this type of style is also extremely good for the vocal folds. Now, I don't like to put sounds into good and bad. It's just that what happens is when we're in a thinner vocal fold with low breath pressure, we're actually lubricating the vocal folds and we're taking out a lot of tension. So see this sort of style of singing that she's doing here as being quite healing. This is sort of like a little bit of a cool down or a little bit of yoga for our voice after doing even some high belting or some screaming. We're stretching out all those muscles and we're bringing everything sort of like back to the balance with the breath flow, which is why I always like to get my students, especially after doing any type of loud belting. I don't teach screaming, but when I do screaming myself, or if I'm practicing it, to come back to this quieter, thinner vocal fold with lots of thyroid too, which is exactly the opposite of what we're doing when we're going into the high belt or the screaming. And that way we are stretching the muscles in the opposite direction, which means that they're going to be ready again for like the next set, for the next day. They're going to have kind of calmed down and you've given them the best chance to recover from your session. Oh, I was going to talk about the mouth. Oh, the next, I get all sidetracked. It's so beautiful.
If my sun won't set tonight, I look around so hard for you, like a shadow passing by, crashing into ships and then fading with my innocence. Give it up, I'm complacent, just enough to escape it. Heretics wouldn't face me. It's a choice I don't want it. Palms are rough when you promise, finalize when you run.
So we're seeing that even when she's going, actually still only on that E4 above middle C. I'm saying this is quite low for the untrained female voice. And I think I'm going to start saying either untrained or trained, because as we train with singing, we extend our vocal ranges whether we're wanting to or not. So for the untrained female singer, this would be quite low in the register. And if it's not, then maybe you're a mezzo soprano or an alto. that has very little to do with the vocal range actually, but with the color of the sound that we're trying to produce. So I would say, judging from this recording alone, I would say that Courtney is probably more of a mezzo soprano, leaning towards the alto, sort of like a lower mezzo soprano. We're hearing that darker timbre in the voice, but that would be a matter of hearing. How is she sitting with the larynx position? Oh, and how does she sound when she's going higher in the range? I think we're probably going to get to like the mouth position like right at the end of this video, but I want you to notice the way in which she's using the economy of the movement of her mouth in this section, even though she's getting louder.
Give it up, I'm complacent. Just enough to escape it. If it takes wouldn't face me. It's a choice, I don't want it. Palms are rough when you promise. Finalize when you run.
Can you say again? I don't have the lyrics in front of me, but so we've got very little mouth movement there. Now that is really only something that can be done when you become more proficient at singing, okay? Because we're wanting to, well, I say that, and then that comes with a caveat as well. We wanted to make sure that we're not over opening the jaw. But for example, I'm thinking of a singer I had in the studio yesterday for a lesson, and they were closing their mouth quite a lot when they were singing. So although they had the same mouth position as Courtney right in this section, they were then kind of forcing the sound closed, and that was causing a lot of tension here in the jaw. So we're wanting to release that tension. Sometimes that means over opening the mouth. And then we go back to find this sort of like perfect balance of this mid position as well, which is a little bit to do with the artistry as well. But everybody's mouth shape and size is very different. But especially in this lower kind of like easy part of a professional singer's voice, like Courtney's, then we don't need to do too much in the mouth department.
It's a choice, I don't want it. Palms are rough when you promise. Finalize when you run. It's time to lose and wonder why. I have been waiting my whole life for pressure and then
Do we notice the tongue position? Pressure and increment. Again, it's the E4 there. I don't have perfect pitch, so I have to keep on going back to my piano and referencing that because I was assuming, but I like to double check these things. We saw the tongue dip down in the back there. Pressure and increments. Now, at that part of the range, I wouldn't say that you have to do it, but if a singer is allowing the tongue to go down as they are beefing up the vocal folds, we got a louder sound, the thicker vocal folds. That backing off of the back of the tongue down can be a way to produce a little bit of compression on the sound in order to make the vocal fold contact even thicker, which doesn't have to happen. It's just that, you know, obviously Courtney, she does screaming and everything like that as well. So, you know, maybe that's coming as well from there. It's an artistic decision. And obviously with a professional singer, if it's not broke, we don't try and fix it. So we would only ask her to maybe change that or do something differently if she was finding issues with that particular note. But yeah, I don't want you to practice that, what she's doing there, but that's why the back of the tongue will be going down.
for pressure and increment. Like a slow moving curve, memories disappear. When I am more than you.
She's utilizing a lot of I am more than you. utilizing going off the voice at the end of the phrase. That's what we call going off the voice, which would be pressure and increments. That was extreme, yeah. But we're going to open the vocal folds at the end of the phrase and allow the breath to come out for that final moment. Now, this can often come as kind of a byproduct of doing lots of louder singing, because that is sometimes, that's often a way that at the end of, say, a belting section or of a loud vocalization section, we've got quite a lot of compression. We'll open up the vocal folds to allow the quick release of the air at the end. And also it kind of sounds more aggressive when you're doing that. In this sort of situation, it sounds more like a sigh. So same technique, different way that it affects our emotions due to the vocal coloring. Gosh, I just have to say the dissonance in those strings is just almost like eerie, isn't it? It's sort of like, someone's going to like come around the corner and like stab me through my window. No, I don't live in a dangerous neighborhood, but it gives me that sort of like creepy vibes. Wonderful, isn't it, how the background, not the background, but like the music can create such a wonderful sense of suspense, and that feeling of sort of like what's going to happen in the next moment with those dissonant chords. She's carried a lot of this thyroid tilt throughout the entire song. This is a really lovely song, actually, if you're looking at working on those lower parts of the range to get that great. Everything's beautiful, yeah, but that lowered larynx position, it's very difficult to find songs that stay within the particular part of the range. So I really do recommend the song. You could even take the key up actually and turn this into a chest voice exercise if you wanted. Be a bit of a shame, but she was going to go into some screaming, I suppose. I don't know. So I am holding you. We're still very much in a very tilted thyroid position. We're not in a hugely thick place, but she's using that with the vowel. I am holding you. And you can hear when she's going on to that last line. I think we're up on the G sharp 4 there, which is the G sharp above middle C. Why is that important? Because it's important to know where these notes are sitting, because that makes no sense if you're working on a chest voice quality, for example, if you're going to be starting going up onto the C5, which is the C above middle C. Like if you are not used to singing up on that C5, that is going to be hard as pushing shit uphill with a pointy stick. This is a really great song for that. Might be quite low, so maybe shift it up 1 or 2 semitones, maximum to the A, B flat, like depending on your voice. But that's something that you really would discuss with your vocal coach. If you are wanting more direction with what songs would be good for your voice and to know exactly what you should be practicing and how and why the fuck you should be practicing them, then you can apply for singing lessons down in the description below, because that's what we do at the Vocal Academy. We make sure that you're singing songs that you like, most importantly, that also fit your voice and are actually going to be helping you with your vocal progress, and not kind of like making you feel like you're doing nothing and standing still and feeling like you're not getting anywhere just because you can't hit like a C6 or something like that, which is like definitely not for beginners. So you can apply it down below. But my point I wanted to make was this I am watching you. It's that vowel change, yo, coming down, as well as landing, which she did the little dip in the tongue as well in order to thicken up the vocal folds, add a little bit of tongue compression in order to go into that note. But she's not going, watching you, and changing into a different quality. She's keeping the same vocal fold contact, same amount of thyroid tilt, but it is firstly the pitch, but also the O vowel with that more open mouth shape is what's creating the volume in there. Lots of that kind of cry going through the song. Oh, wow. Beautiful. I cannot wait to look more. Absolutely no one suggested that song. I just really love Spiritbox, and I think that Courtney is an absolutely fantastic singer, and I wanted to share that song with you, and I thought, that looks fucking cool. I want to look at that. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you around here more often. I've got some freebies down in the description for you as well, talking about some of the stuff we've been talking about in the video. Haven't looked at Spiritbox before, but I'm going to have a look at what we have looked at so you can keep on learning with the video up here. Just remember that a lot of this sort of stuff is really about building up step by step. And it sounds super complicated in the beginning. And it is kind of complicated. Singing's fucking hard, okay? But everybody can learn to sing, and that's what I'm here to do, to show you like step by step how you can get this shit done. So anyway, happy singing. Kaki down all. And get practicing. If you actually want to get better at singing, get on and do some practicing.